Hello there, students. Welcome to our week of virtual recorded lessons. Quickly remind Miss Kirkham, me, of all of our actors' tools. Can you remember the first one? Drum roll on the count of three. 1, 2, 3. On the count of three, tell me the first one. 1, 2, 3. Our body. Good job. Our second actor's tool is our voice. Excellent. So ladies and gentlemen, we're going to stop right there with our first two actors' tools. It's been just a day or two since we've done this warm-up, okay? This warm-up is called Hey Lolly. It's a wonderful warm-up given to Miss Kirkham by a good friend, Miss Cynthia Ellick. We've done it before, but it's been a long time. So here's the job. When we say the word pop, I want you to actually jump. Yes, jump. Jump on the word pop. The words are hey lolly, 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 hey lolly, lolly, and then you need to jump on pop. Okay? Yes, even you older students, you're never too old to stretch or sing, so I'd like for you to sing with me. Now, Miss Kirkham is by no means the most amazing guitarist in the world. In fact, I know few chords, but enough for us to have a little extra fun here. Here we go. Ready? On the count of 3. 1. Remember, hey lolly, 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 pop. Please jump on pop. Lolly, 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 hey lolly, lolly, pop. Hey lolly, 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 hey lolly, lolly, pop. Are you popping? Make sure you pop, like popcorn. Hey lolly, 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 hey lolly, lolly, pop. Hey lolly, 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 hey lolly, lolly, pop. Now this time I want you to think about a dragonfly. Now you could either be a teeny tiny dragonfly, ooh, flying around a lake, or you could be a great, gigantic dragon who's flying. Your choice. If you're sitting, I'd like to think, how could you show little tiny wings while you're sitting? And if you're standing, how could you fly around the room like a giant dragon? I'd like to see that. Yes, everyone. Here we go. Hey dragon, dragon, dragon. Hey dragon, dragon, fly. 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 Okay, let's do this time hey ninja. So I want you to think about how a ninja would sneak. Would they be sneaky fingers? Are you going to sneak around your room? Sneaking around the room. How are you going to sneak as a ninja? Here we go. You can hear some vehicles sneaking by us too. Hey ninja, ninja, ninja. Hey ninja, ninja. Sneak. I want to see you all sneak. Who's doing the best job sneaking? You all are. Hey ninja, ninja, ninja. Hey ninja, ninja, sneak. Hey ninja, ninja, ninja. Hey ninja, ninja, sneak. Hey ninja, ninja, ninja. Hey ninja, ninja, sneak. Now this is going to be Miss Kirkham's last one for today. And here's what I would like. I want you to freeze in your best, most dramatic tableau. If you cannot remember what a tableau is, it is a frozen picture. So a tableau is going to show something, but be completely frozen. If I was eating, and then I freeze. If I was taking a picture, and then I freeze. So a tableau is going to be a frozen picture. So I want you to be frozen. So I'm going to sing, hey student, 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 hey student, student, freeze. And I'd like you to freeze however you'd like you're surprised. Throw in a gesture, that's your motion with your hands or your face. Or if you're angry, hey student, 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 hey student, student, freeze. Hey student, 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 hey student, student, freeze. However you'd like to freeze, like you're thinking, like you're angry, like you're sad, like you're excited, like you're surprised. However you'd like to freeze. Here we go. Hey, student, student, student. Hey, student, student, freeze. 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 Good job. Remembering that acting is mostly imagination. Imagining if this were really happening to you, how would you respond? So it does not matter if you are 5 or 105. When you are trying to become popcorn, how would that look? If you're trying to fly like a dragon, what would it be like to be a dragon? If you're sneaking around the stage like a ninja, how on earth would you sneak? What would you be thinking? What are you trying to sneak to grab? And then the last time, what emotion were you feeling? And why were you feeling that way? Remembering when you're writing scenes, you want to know who you're talking about, what they want, who you're talking to, how you feel about them, and what's going on in the scene. These are all things that help us act using our imagination. All right, moving on. Hello, 4th grade students. So you just did a fun warm-up. We sang and hopped around or popped around. I hope that you actually did the popping, that you actually became a dragon. I hope that you actually acted those things out with facial expressions. Remember that you're never too old to use your imagination. In fact, last week we talked about how in Hollywood, half of the things we see aren't even really there. Remember that we talked about a green screen? Now, some of you asked Miss Kirkham questions about your green screen. Could you have any green wall and it work? Could you have any green paper and it work? Could it be made out of literally anything green? Or maybe blue, because Miss Kirkham said it didn't have to be green? Well, let's go to a room that's green to check it out. I want you to snap. If you can't snap, you can pinch on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, students, our drama warm-up is over and Miss Kirkham is standing in front of what appears to be a green room. I would like to know, with a thumbs up or a thumbs down, based off of last week, would this be considered a green screen? Miss Kirkham is going to give you 3 seconds to guess. You may say it out loud. Do 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 do. Do-do-do-do-do. Is this a green screen? Close. My friends, this is a green room, but it will not count as a green screen because this room has little bitty lines on it, okay? So I want to remind you that if you're in a room that has a green wall of any kind, that might work for a green screen. But in the next couple of weeks, we talked about how screens can be edited based off of your background, and unfortunately this will not work for a green screen because these little lines would make a difference. So for a green screen, you want a flat background. Also, it can't be too tiny. I have a green towel. Would that work? No, because this is such a small little green square that it's not going to cover my whole body. So a few friends asked Miss Kirkham, could I make a green screen out of a green yoga mat? Well, that depends. Does your green yoga mat hide your whole body? Miss Kirkham, could I make a green screen out of a green blanket? Well, that depends. Does your green blanket have lots of little lines on it, like these little circles? Because if there are little lines, it doesn't quite work as well. Miss Kirkham, my poster board got bent and is all wavy and crinkly. Will my poster board still work? Maybe not. Not if it has a lot of lines and curves on it. You want a flat, straight background, because the more little things that the light's going to pick up, ladies and gentlemen, it's not going to be as solid to get rid of, okay? You could still try. I could still probably edit this background to disappear, even with the lines, but it is the goal to have a really solid something to work with for a green screen. Okay, so if you're trying to find a green wall I would encourage you to find something that is solid green. You don't want lots of texture, lots of little grooves and things in the background, because when you try to get rid of that, it does make a slight difference. Okay, welcome back, my friends. So you can see that not every single green area is the best for it. Although those little dots could still be edited out, you want as flat of a green screen as possible. So students, if with Miss Mumford you folded up your green screen and now it has a lot of lines and crinkles, it may not work quite the way that you wanted it to before. It could still work, but there might be little fuzzy edges around your head and things like that, okay? So you want to make sure that it's a solid green background, a solid green background. And Miss Kirkham is going to be showing you over the next couple of weeks how more scenes can change, and we'll talk a little bit more about Showcase. We know that next week students come back in person, yay, but some of you are staying online, and that is okay. For those of you who stay online, don't worry, we're still going to have a lot of fun. We won't be able to talk Showcase until closer to then because some of our elements may be changing. So let's talk theater this week. This week we want to remember the many different styles of theater we've talked about. We went from the very, very beginning, before there was even an alphabet, and we talked about how stories were told verbally, just with our words. Right? And then we had Greek theater, which was very cool. We had tragedies, super tragic, very sad. And we had, after tragedies, we also had comedies. We know we started to talk about a farce, which was more physical humor, where it might be all like, oh, I bonked myself on the head, things of that nature. And this week we're landing a little bit more in melodrama territory. Melodrama. The word mellow, a lot of times we think calm, collected. No. A melodrama is not exactly calm or collected. A melodrama reminds Miss Kirkham more of a ham. No, I do not mean ham as in eating ham. If you remember, those of you who had Miss Kirkham, in 2nd grade we colored a coloring sheet that said H is for ham, and ham is overacting. It's becoming very, very cheesy. Melodramas had certain kind of roles, like the damsel in distress, oh no, or the hero, I'm going to save the day, or the villain, And each of these characters are a little more exaggerated. They took some of the characters from something called Commedia dell'arte, which we will talk about later in the year. Don't worry about it for right now. All you need to know is that these characters were quite dramatic. Okay? So your job this week is going to be to create a story of your own that is quite dramatic. I want your story to be about you, and I want you to be the hero. I want your story to be about you, and I want you to be the hero. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, when Miss Kirkham says she wants you to be the hero, I don't want it to be a real life story. I want it to be very, very dramatic. I want there to be a villain, a bad guy of some sort. Please remember, no weapons are allowed, okay? You are being the playwright, and this week we're going to do something kind of fun. We're going to make a comic strip, okay? A comic strip story, trying to be melodramatic. Remember, mellow may sound calm and collected, but with a melodrama, it was not. It was exaggerated. Now, when we meet in person, for those of you who are coming in person, and when we meet live the next time, we're going to talk even more about what melodrama is. This is just a teeny tiny review of kind of big characters for melodrama. Think about the old school cartoons where maybe someone was tied to a railroad tracks. Somebody save me! And somebody came to save the day, and then, the bad guy kind of lucks out. That's more of a melodrama. So a lot of cartoons have that. We don't quite act that way anymore. We like to be more realistic in our acting now. But your cartoon, your comic strip this week is going to be you being the hero of a story that is quite dramatic. So start thinking, who or what could the villain be? This will take a good hunk of time because you need to draw, Miss Kirkham, 9 pictures. That's right, 9 different pictures. I cannot wait to see your comic strip. But before you do, I want you to take a look at what this could look like. Snap twice, one more time. And if you can't snap, you can pinch. 1, 2, 3. Look, we made it. Oh, and there's more than just one grade level with me right now. Hello to 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade. No, not 1st grade. 1st grade isn't quite to the level of creating their own stories yet. These are only for my older friends. But that's okay, they'll still have a lot of fun. So if you have a 1st grade sibling, they'll still have fun making their own characters. But your job is extra special, my older friends. Anyone with siblings could help each other out. Your job this week is to imagine you are the playwright. Remember that Miss Kirkham is not going to make you design a play from beginning to the end and write it all out and write all of the lines. Some plays are rather large. They really are. For instance, Miss Kirkham has a whole shelf full of plays, and some of our plays are about this thick. Here are a couple of Miss Kirkham's plays. Woohoo! They're pretty. They're pretty thick. If you'd like to write all of your own play from beginning to end, I would love to see your play. But back to the topic today. Instead of writing the entire play beginning to end, you're making your whole story, your own story, playwrights, from beginning to end, comic book style. So Miss Kirkham has this gigantic poster board here. You don't need a poster board, but at home I don't have my whiteboard, so we're using the poster board instead. And Miss Kirkham has made 9 different grids. So you're going to need a white piece of paper. So a blank piece of paper. If at home, students, you only have lined, that's okay. It's just a little harder to draw a picture on a lined piece of paper. So if you have like copy printer paper, just a blank piece of paper, or even if you have a paper with something on it, and then you use the back, that's okay. I would rather you use scratch paper like this than lined paper, but if you only have lined paper, that's okay. You're going to make a grid of 9. So Miss Kirkham moved across, whoop, 1, across, boop, 2 lines, and then I went down. 1, 2. Okay, students? Okay. So now I have 9 storyboarding boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, I went a little faster for my friends who were already counting quite quickly. I'd like you to go from the beginning all the way to the end. Okay, so before you draw your pictures, I want you to think of your story. Draw with pencil first, write with pencil first. So every one of you, not with a pen first. I give you 5 seconds to find your pencil or hold it up high and do a little pencil mustache dance. Okay, so my friends who need a pencil, you have 5 seconds to get one. My friends who have a pencil, do a 5-second pencil mustache dance. Good pencil mustache dance. If you're sharing this pencil, please make sure to wipe it off. Nobody wants a nose pencil. Nobody wants to share a nose pencil. Okay, now looking at Miss Kirkham, I want each of these boxes to tell part of your story. Okay? Comic grids go different ways. Just for the sake of our class, we are going to go beginning, then we're going to go down, over, down, over. Beginning, down, over, down, over. So it might not be quite like some of the comics you read, more of a storyboard mat, and that's okay. Okay, it doesn't need to be perfect. Miss Kirkham knows if you have adults at home who actually do professional comic booking, that's incredible. This isn't quite like an actual comic book, okay? We're just having fun storyboarding our idea and drawing pictures, okay? Kind of a comic form without all of the comic rules. All right, so I want you to think beginning. So this story is going to be about you, students. So the very, very, very beginning of your story, we just need to see who you are. So my story is about me, and I'm pretending I'm a hero. I want you to pretend you are the hero of the story. So once upon a time, there was Miss Kirkham. So I'm going to write just in pencil, Miss Kirkham, and then I need to write, where was I? And I'm going to say that Miss Kirkham was on a walk in the woods, just for fun. Walk in woods. Okay, so if you can kind of see, it looks a little backwardsy, but Miss Kirkham walking woods. This is going to help me know later that that's what I want to draw my picture of, okay? Once upon a time, there was Miss Kirkham walking woods. She ran into... I'm going to have a sidekick. So if I'm a hero, I need a sidekick, okay? Not here in Arizona, but I grew up having a kitty cat, and so I'm going to say that my cat Thomas is with me. So Miss Kirkham ran into her cat Thomas. That's going to be my second story. So your first box should be you, decide where you're at. Once upon a time, there was you as the hero. Where were you? Then I want you to think of a sidekick. You ran into, who did you run into? And then your adventure needs to start by the third box. So Miss Kirkham and Thomas decided to find berries. Find berries. Okay, so now I have a box, Miss Kirkham walking in the woods. Then I have my sidekick. Miss Kirkham's gonna put her cat Thomas from back in Illinois, Siamese kitty cat. Miss Kirkham loves Siamese kitty cats. I love all animals. So if you have an animal sidekick, you don't have to have an animal sidekick. It could be a little brother, sister, or adult, or teacher. Interesting. Okay, then what are you doing? Now we're gonna come down, whoop, down to this box. Now I want your villain to be introduced. When suddenly, we need a villain. Okay, we are kind to all of our teachers, but I know he's such a good sport that I'm gonna make Mr. Bloom into a villain, okay? And I'm gonna make Mr. Bloom into, we'll say an evil scientist, when all of a sudden an evil scientist named Mr. Bloom. So I'm gonna say, when suddenly Mr. Bloom, the evil scientist, tried to steal their berries for his science projects. Yikes. Okay, so I got evil Mr. Bloom, the scientist, science project. Okay, now I need a way out of that. And it doesn't have to be realistic. It can be absolutely imaginary. So I had another drama teacher who his name is Mr. Simpson, and he works at also at Basis, but at Basis, I believe, Phoenix Primary. And he made his sidekick turn into a drama llama. How cool would a drama llama be? But I don't want to steal his idea, although that would be very cool. I'm going to make my cat have the ability to spin the cat's tail around really fast and help me fly. So thankfully, Thomas spun his tail and flew Miss Kirkham with her berries to safety. Flew to safety. Now here's the problem. We still have 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes left. So we're at safety, but we're gonna make a little bit of a twist to this tale. I want there to be another unfortunately, so something else to go wrong. Unfortunately, what could go wrong? Unfortunately, they got so high into the sky that they got stuck on tall tree branches. Yikes, stuck. Fortunately, So this is a good thing. So unfortunately, fortunately, good thing, there were even more berries there. More berries. Yay! I have 2 more boxes to wrap it up. So I need, how am I starting to get safely done with whatever our adventure is? And then I need our ending. Okay? They climbed down. And had enough berries to make pie. Ooh, I love pie. So this is going to be my story. So my friends, this is just me writing out my story, but your job is to also draw the pictures and color it. So that's kind of a big job, okay, my friends? I'd like you to really try your best. You've got a lot of class time this week to work on this. I know that your classes are a little different this week, so you don't have to turn it in until next Monday. For my Friday friends, if you're seeing this all the way on Friday, you have the whole weekend just to play and kind of color with it. It won't be due until Monday at 9 p.m. 9 p.m. Okay? So your job is to storyboard this comic, and then I'm going to go back, and the first one says Miss Kirkham walks in the woods. So because I drew this in pencil, I can now erase it and draw my picture of Miss Kirkham walking leaves, walking in the woods. Yay! And hopefully your picture is a little better than Miss Kirkham. Oh my, I accidentally made myself have 3 legs. So look at the picture and not at the filming. So who you are, superhero you, meet your sidekick, whoever your sidekick is, figure out where you're going, what you're doing, meet a villain. Ooh. Get away. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of a twist. Fortunately, we fix our twist. We start to end our story, and we come with a resolution, an ending. Then go back and draw your pictures. Okay? Students, you're probably wondering how to turn this in. Don't worry. You're going to turn this assignment in by, after you're all done, you can either scan it in if your adult's really great at that, or you may take a picture and upload it to Microsoft Teams. I do want you to know that the grading period is almost finished. So some of you had a little harder time on your quizzes, and a few asked for multiple, for extra credit. Ms. Kirkham doesn't give extra credit, but I did go back to those friends and add a few extra points for participation points. So to every quiz taken, I have given an extra couple of points for participation. It is even across the board unless you got all of your points correct. If you got a 10 out of 10, I did not add any participation points for you because, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot have 110% in a class. That is just crazy. Okay, so Ms. Kirkham only added a couple of extra credit points, not because you had extra credit, because I included the fact that you participated into those original quizzes. So some of you got a few extra points. Now, if you only got 2 out of 10 questions right, and I gave you 2 more points, that's still only 3 out of 10. Okay, so I didn't give you 10 out of 10 points. I still needed to see that you tried. But I gave 2 to 3 extra participation points depending on your grade and depending on the quiz, because you participating also should count as a little bit of the score. So again, if you got 0 out of 10, you did not turn it in, then I could not give you those participation points. If you did try and you got 0 out of 10, then you maybe got 3 out of 10 as the total grade. Okay, so Ms. Kirkham was not giving you the whole score. I was just adding a few points because I believe you working hard to participate should count a little bit too. If you already had 10 out of 10, you didn't need any extra points because you got them all. You can't have more than 10 out of 10 points because you can't have over 100 points in any class. So if you are worried that maybe at the very beginning you tried your very hardest, but you missed some questions on a quiz, Ms. Kirkham gave 2 to 3 extra points for those quizzes. Remember, if you got 0 out of 10, that's still only 3 out of 10, but that's far better than what you would have had. Okay? I hope that you have so much fun with this grid. I hope that I cannot wait to see your cool comics. We'll talk about them, and I will even share some of them next week, whether you're in person or whether you are online, either way. Until then, we miss you. Have a great, great rest of this week. Bye-bye.